Hey everybody, welcome back to Bailey's Homestead. I wanted to do a video today to go along with the post I made last night. If you have not seen that post, head on over to the channel, slide over to the community tab. That's where you can keep up with the short information that sometimes doesn't make it onto a video. It's just small random things that I let you all know about. So starting off, we were not expecting anything. There was a post on Facebook. I see them all the time, you know, somebody seeing something in another community tab, thought they would try it, things like that. Well, that was kind of similar to this post. And there was a piece of wire in the driveway. Not good. It was basically along the lines of, post something here in the comments that you need but can't afford. This time of year is a time of giving and thanks. You know, from now up until New Year's. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And no, none of our turkeys are on the menu. At least not yet. Not sure that they will be, but there may come a time where we have to cross that bridge. But anyway, as many of you may know, and some of you may not know, my wife has been off work. She was off work for 10 weeks. She is back to work now, but you know, we began the process of catching back up and getting back on a regular routine again. And so anyway, I got on there. I was like, you know what? The biggest thing I need right now is hay for the animals. We need firewood for our stove. And, you know, we go through about a bale a week on 4x5 bales, week and a half. Firewood, it takes us about 3 cords to get through winter. Not quite 3 cords, but it's a good safe spot to get to for us and our stove. So anyway, you know, I didn't expect anything really. You know, a lot of times you do stuff like that, somebody will get on and say, hey, I've got, you know, a part of a tree over here came down in a storm or something. You can come cut it up if you want it. Beast, don't you dare. He's trying to mark my hay. So anyway, this was an almost immediate response. A lady got a hold of us and said, hey, I've got some hay and I've got some wood, and it's yours if you want it. And asked if we had a way to come get it. I said I do. I have a couple of trailers I can use. And you know, I was expecting, you know, hey, I got a few squares you could have, or I got, you know, I could spare a couple rounds, something like that. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what happened. We were mind blown, absolute mind blown, in shock that someone was willing to give us not just a couple bales, not just a little bit of firewood to get you through a night or two. We got 14. Round bales. These aren't just the little 4x5 bales we normally purchase. When I measured the one on the back of the trailer last night, had it on the back of the tractor, I stand 5'8". Okay. These bales measure a little over 5 foot by 5.5 foot. So these are almost 5x6 bales. Some of them might actually be 5x6 bales. Guys, I don't even have words because I can't thank this person enough for what they've done for us. That, if I was to go to my hay guy and get that hay right there, right now, for my 4x5 bales, you're looking at almost $1,000 worth of hay right there. They asked for nothing in return, but I did offer. I offered to help them with whatever they need help with, because that is just so unreal. It's unreal. You do not see stuff like that anymore. Not a whole lot of people are willing to help people anymore. And not only did they give us 14, we'll call them 5x6 bales. As soon as they get it all cut up, we're going to have at least a truckload of firewood, if not more than a truckload of firewood, that they are giving us. They're donating it to us. And mind you, these bales, I was out here taking a picture with the horses last night. And you can see that photo in the community tab. I posted it. This hay's still got green in it. Now, is this the most nutritious hay? No. No. The horses can hide behind that hay bale. Once they make their way down here, you can see that, but guys, it's a blessing beyond compare, and it's very humbling. I'm not one that likes to ask for help. We always do it on our own. We always figure it out. And I don't know if any of you are believers or non-believers, and we're not going to get into that. But you know, I'm not perfect by any means. Come on, go on. We will get to that in a minute. That's another part of this video. I personally believe in God. I believe there is a creator, and I do believe that he sends blessings. He or she, whatever you may believe in. You may not believe there's one at all, but the God I believe in has always been a male in my life, and that's why I say he. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But anyway, I'm not here to appreciate you. I'm not here to make you believe. But this was a blessing in our time of need. And I know who to thank for that. This was an anonymous person. I do not have their permission to divulge their name, or I didn't have permission to record the process, honestly, I didn't even discuss it. I was overwhelmed with wanting to get this hay and get it home. We had been out of hay for about a week, and it was starting to make me nervous. The horses were going to start pushing the fence and stuff like that, trying to get to forage that they need, because, well, we're stuck waiting on spring to plant. And we don't have much here for forage. Now, this hay here that we have is more of a cow, sheep, goat kind of hay. It's not really a horse type of hay, just mainly because of the nutrients and stuff in it. It's just not a high quality hay. But we supplement with mineral tubs, as you all have seen in previous videos, and we grain the horses, so they get their nutrients in other ways. So our biggest thing right now is the forage part. They need something to keep themselves busy, and I'll kind of show you why. It's not only pushing fences that's an issue, and this is moving on to the other part of this video. So yesterday was going good. Of course, I had all that hay stacked on the trailer. I mean, we were 14 bales. The truck looked pretty good. We were squatting a little bit. It wasn't a lot. Everything seemed to balance out fairly well. And I just noticed someone has taken our no trespassing sign down. Interesting. Interesting. This was over there on the fence. Interesting. That's something else we came home to then, 'cause I'm just now discovering it. Let's look here. Yeah, that's a clean. That's clean. I'll have to fix that today too. So anyway, pushing the fence is one thing. We had the trailer sink because of all the hay that was on it. Getting back to that, it just kept throwing things at us yesterday. And in the process of trying to get this hay and, enjoy, something good happening to us. And, well, after fighting to get the truck and trailer out of the field, we finally did that. I had to unload the majority of the hay. My dad hooked his truck up and pulled. I got behind the trailer, and I used the front loader to get underneath the trailer, and I lifted and pushed. We got out of the field, and we were not expecting it to be that soft. Now, I did expect it to be soft in places because the landowner told me places to avoid. I wouldn't go there because it's pretty soft there. We don't really maintain that, so it may be soft there. Things like that. Okay, we knew the areas to avoid, and I was doing that. Yeah, we sunk the trailer all the way up to the bottom of the rim there. So you're looking at a good 6 inches just about that we sunk in on one side. And at that point, I couldn't get traction with my truck to make it up the hill. So, long story short, we got back up onto the driveway there, and well, it's technically a road, but it's a long driveway, so it's what we're going to call it. We got back up there and got loaded. I decided not to put the 14 back on. It was getting dark. We needed to get out of there, so I put 11 on the trailer. I put the 12th one in the back of the truck. Then on my dad's truck, he was pulling the 16-footer, and I hauled the tractor out there. My dad brought the 16-footer out, and I put a bale in the back of his truck, and then I left a bale attached to the 3-point on the tractor, and we kind of backed up to a low spot, and I was able to back the tractor on with that bale attached. Every time I tried to drive onto the tractor or the trailer, the 3-point just wasn't high enough, and it kept wanting to drag the bale off. So backing it on was the only way to do that, which of course gave my dad a little bit more tongue weight than I would have preferred him have, because he already had one of those massive bales in the back of his truck, so he was already squatting. I think had I arranged the bales on the truck and trailer, well, the trailer more or less, I think my trip home would have been a little bit better. But like I said, it was getting dark. It was hard to determine where all my weight was and what I needed to arrange. I was trying to get him on the trailer so we could get out of there. Yesterday was a long day for us because we went on a trip to get groceries. We have an Amish and Mennonite store that we like to go to, and well, we did that yesterday morning. We got done with that and went straight into getting hay. So yeah, it was already a long day as it was. So I was really, I wanted to get loaded. I wanted to get home so I could get unloaded. We could call it a day. And oh, excuse me, pardon me guys, I'm sorry, I'm still waking up. Yeah, I just I'm glad we made it home. I really am. I'm looking back at it and realizing that if I'd have took just a little bit more time, I probably could have balanced out the truck a little bit more. I really did want to try to haul 14 bales and see how the truck handled it. But I wanted them on the trailer. I didn't want to weigh the truck down anymore. Because what happened last night on the way home is I ended up having a lot of tongue weight, and I wasn't expecting that. I knew I was squatted before we left, but not enough to affect the steering like it did. I mean, it was just insane the amount of tongue weight that I had versus how the truck appeared. And it may have just been the way I was sitting on their driveway that it just didn't register, once we got out onto the road. But we took it slow. We made it. That is really the important thing. Hauling hay at night is kind of dangerous as it is. You can't hardly see if a strap comes loose. You can't see if you lost a bale. I mean, it's oncoming traffic, especially as wide as we were hauling these massive bales. That's hard to see at night. don't get me wrong. You got headlights beaming, you're gonna see these big bales. There's just no way about it. I mean, they're double stacked on the trailers, so I mean, you can't miss that. Hey, this person's hauling hay. So yeah, we had a couple of people that decided to get a lot closer than they should have. They could have even slowed down and come to a stop, because there's no way, guys, with that kind of weight, I'm going to get off the road. It's not going to happen. At that point, you are top heavy. If I was to run off the road, I'd have probably got sucked off the road. And, you know, it probably wouldn't have ended very well. So I got over as far as I could safely get over without running myself off the road and potentially causing a rollover. You know, some people just don't, they don't care. They don't. They would rather cause an incident and blame you for it than to, you know, take the necessary precautions to make sure nothing happens. I did everything but come to a complete stop to help people get past me. I was running my flashers, one, because I was going well under the speed limit. I could not drive over 35 miles an hour. And, you know, the big bright flashing lights coming off the back of the truck, you know, they light up those hay bales, okay? There's no, I didn't see it, okay? I wished I would have recorded it to show you guys, because, I mean, there's no way you can't see, you know, I don't know. I was still well within the lines, but the thing is, I had too much rear weight, and I didn't really have real good steering if I went faster than 35 miles an hour. You know, when we got hitting bumps and you know, bouncing, it was a sketchy situation, let me tell you. There wouldn't have been a whole lot you all could have seen at night, but you know, I wasn't scared by any means. I've hauled some pretty sketchy things, being a homesteader and doing what I had to do, using what I have. But I was a slight bit nervous, and I will admit that, because man, when you lose your steering, you lose control of the vehicle. You know, not to mention having that much weight coming, it can affect your brakes. And it did in a couple of places. We had some dirt roads we had to go down before we met pavement. And I can tell you now, I wouldn't have stopped very quickly. Even on pavement, it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, we made it home. Like I said, we got stuck. We had too much weight situation, so it was taking longer to get home. And just making the day even longer than it was. So, moving on from everything, that's a little bit of the backstory of how the hay got here. So, the risks of not having something for them to forage on, okay? Not only can they push the fence trying to reach things on the other side of the fence, which is risking breaking the fence, risking animals getting out, and there's a lot of risks that come along with that. We've already had an issue with Santana pushing on these rabbit hutches, trying to get to them. Well, we come home last night. She's got his wire completely gone that we latch his with. Door wide open. He's still in there, thankfully. Thankfully. She hadn't done anything to those two. Unfortunately, she has messed up the other rabbit hutch. We had a rabbit get out, and it is gone. I'm sure we'll see her around if a predator hasn't got her. We'll try to catch her if we do. But she's gone. She got out, and that's just part of what happens. What really, really irritates me is this right here. Look at the size of that hole. That's my hand. For a comparison. Don't pay attention to my little friend. Yeah. I've been wanting to get rid of that guy, but yeah. We almost had 2 more let out because they're hungry. They're not starving to death. Ooh, what did we just do here? Okay, let's sorry about that. They're hungry. They need stuff to forage on. Horses eat a lot. They're out here chewing grass a lot. It's kind of like cows or any, grazing animal. They're out, they're eating, they're foraging constantly. So, are they getting what they need out of the grain? Absolutely. They get what they need out of the mineral tubs, but it's not fulfilling. It's not forage. It's not, okay? You have to understand how their bodies work. They have to have forage. So when they don't have that, they start looking for things. They go after the rabbit feed. That's one reason why all the animals aren't all together and they don't all get fed in the same place. Because we try to ensure that everybody gets the food they're supposed to get. Santana will go eat her own food, and then she will go try to take everybody else's, including these rabbits. She's down here knocking the water bottles off all the time. So, before you go into the comments and comment and all this, that, and the other, we're going to fix this problem. There is a solution. It's an easy solution. And we are going to get on that probably later today. We're looking for a place to move the rabbits to. They are no longer going to stay here. Fortunately, after I built this, we have mesh left over. In fact, she is tearing the door apart on this. If you imagine that. So anyway, I have enough mesh left over. I can fix that hutch. That rabbit is okay, uninjured. I think she was a little stressed out and scared. Sorry guys, it is a little windy today. I'll stand behind this tree. But she's in the house right now. She's in a pet crate. That was for us to put her in for the night. And we're going to get that hutch redone for her so she can go back home and be comfortable again. I think she was a little bit stressed out, and that would be expected if I had a big old horse face come in at me. So that's one reason why I stress so bad on taking care of these animals, making sure we have what we need for them, and it's at all cost. It's at all cost. Sometimes I have a little issue, that we spent too much or whatever, but, the most important thing is that these animals are taken care of. I will go without so that they don't. And that's just part of it. I do the same thing for my children. And I would do the same thing for my wife. We didn't get these animals so they couldn't have what they need. We got them so they could have what they need. And I try to make sure of that. And when we can't make that happen, it stresses me out so much. Because I worry about them. I care about them. They need things just like we do. And if we get put in a bind and we can't provide that, then it's very stressful. So this is huge stress relief. We will be able to heat our house. We will be able to provide hay for these animals. I believe these bales are going to last us longer because they are bigger. And we'll see. We'll see. Because we get about a week and a half out of the 4x5. So I am curious. We have not had 5x6 in at least almost 2.5 years now. Because I was having to move these bales by hand. I had to move them with a truck, or I had to move them by hand. I got to the point and I wasn't able to do that anymore. As you can see, we did not damage the trailer. I think we may have slightly sloped this fender here, but she is just fine. Just fine. Yeah. So yeah, this side of the trailer over here was the one that sunk into the mud. It was all the way down to there. Yeah, it got her pretty good. This one here, we just had the one bale. So the tractor was backed on with one of them big bales right here. We did take the front loader off of the tractor once we got it on there because it was sticking out over the end of the trailer, and I had to fix the wiring harness on that trailer. Another thing I forgot to grab before we left yesterday, because I meant to cut that off, get it fixed up real quick, and well, I didn't get to make that happen. So I really didn't want something like a bale spike hanging out the end of the trailer with nobody back there to pilot, keeping people from running into that for any reason. But while we're out here, I want to show you guys what we've had going on. I'm sure some of you have got to be curious about these emu eggs. Any of you that are trained, can any of you see a nest anywhere? Right there. Right there is their nest. And there's a couple of eggs. We are not going to move their nest. We're not going to disturb their nest. And we'll see if they keep it there. They had originally started up here. Right there is where I found the first 2 eggs, and then we found 2 more. So do you mind I'm not your mate. Not gonna happen. So yeah, that's a problem. Ha ha. That's right, I put the barrier back. Yeah. You are something else, ma'am. Alright, so there is a reason for that behavior. I'm pretty sure I have figured out what it is, but, you know, I'm not an expert, and, well, I can only go by the research I've done. So, yeah. Emu can have, multiple partners, if you will. I think that's just some kind of weird ritual that goes on between emu that I, for one, cannot understand, because I'm not an emu. So, yeah, it's weird. We get through it. She doesn't try to hurt me or anything. She'll come up on me like that, and then she'll end up kind of squatting down on the ground. Yeah, it's a weird ritual, but you know, it is what it is. Not the weirdest thing in the world I've seen. So, other than that, guys, there is not a whole lot new going on the homestead. I absolutely wanted to get on here and share with you all the great news and the wonderful people that we have had come into our lives. This hay was not that far away from us, and as we are just absolutely blessed to have it. And we do have some concern that we're going to watch out for, but the person that bales this hay is a veterinarian, and they have assured us that these bales should not be a danger, but they're, you know, we're going to use precaution anyway, because we don't know for sure that the landowner interpreted, you know, and got the right bales. So all we have is their word for it, and I'm gonna believe them. I don't think they would intentionally give us the wrong hay, anything like that, but they did have some danger grass that horses really don't need to eat. So yes, it's a little nerve-wracking. Just hoping that that did not end up in any of these bales. And you know, they seem like very honest, genuine people, and so far these horses are just going at it. I mean, they have been out here all night long, and we'll see what they do with these bales, because you know, these guys seem to know more of the I can't eat, I can't eat. They're wild horses. Their senses should be the same as domesticated horses, but, you know, they haven't had humans providing for them. They've had to use their instincts. And, well, if anybody hasn't seen a horse go to the bathroom, well, there you go. And the chickens are just, whew, yum. All right. So anyway, now you might notice Dakota has changed a little bit. Oh, here he goes. He's going to roll, I think. Or maybe he's just laying down. He might not roll. I thought he was going to itch. Huh. I guess not. Yeah, they've been going to town on this. They've been out here with it all night long. And, they seem to be enjoying it. They've kind of got it clapped down a little bit. It's not quite spread out like the other bales do, but these are wrapped a lot tighter than the ones we normally get too. The ones we get are tight baled, but these are, let me tell you, they are tight. They are heavy. There's a lot to these bales, so I'm hoping they last for a while. I am going to keep an eye on him and make sure this isn't something. Horses do lay down. So if you're one of those that think horses do not, you are mistaken. Horses do lay down. And we are going to keep an eye on him. Make sure this isn't a problem. And they lay down all the time, especially this time of year. I see them laying down all the time. Working it out at the horse rescue, they lay down all the time. You just have to go out and make sure that they're not lame, they're not sick, there's not something wrong with them, because they do lay down. And they'll lay down and roll and scratch. And now he doesn't seem to be in duress, but distress. But we're going to keep an eye on him. If I have to, I will get him back in the corral, and we'll see if we can work with him. And you know, if it ends up that way, we'll get a hold of our vet and see what's going on. But yeah, I thought I was going to catch him rolling, scratching for you guys. That's something that I don't normally catch, but apparently he's just having a break. Soaking up some sun. And, well, I guess if anything does happen, you're going to know about it, because I will record what I can. I did plan on using the GoPro. Not sure what's going on with it. I couldn't get it to power on this morning. So I'm using the phone, but hopefully we'll be back to using that here soon. And oh yeah, look at there, guys. The goats are eating the hay I put in there last night. And of course Charlotte's making a bed out of it, and so are the ducks. But you know what, the goats are eating it. That's what it's in there for. And that's an awesome sight right there. So they need forage as well as the other animals. So you know, that's an awesome thing. I could probably have the goats and the horses all out in one area. They all eat the same feed, but we would still run into an issue of them not getting you know, their full feed once the horses got done, if they weren't done, that kind of thing. So we'd still have to feed them separately. But you know, they could have access to the hay if they wanted. But these guys are not used to being on hay. They're used to being on forage. They had a lot of brush to chew on as youngsters, babies, and they had a big pasture. So they're not used to being on hay. So we got to get them adapted to that. We've tried giving them some hay here and there since they've been here. I just don't like to put too much out there and it get wasted. You know, hay is not cheap, so we got to kind of watch what we do. So I think that being said, let me see, we're gonna get this tree cut up for some firewood. I got to cutting that up and my chainsaw started spewing fuel, so I had to fix a fuel leak. Hopefully I can get that working. In the meantime, I'm borrowing a saw so I can get that cut up for us. We're doing that today. I think I'm gonna wait until further into winter to burn up this big pile. So I can wait for the wind to die down, and some of that will kind of dry up and die, and there will be a little bit less of a fire hazard. So here lately it's just been really windy. It's been perfect conditions otherwise. We've gotten a lot of rain and moisture, but it's just too windy. So I'm pretty sure they would deny me a permit to burn. So even if I didn't need a permit, I wouldn't burn today. I wouldn't burn in this wind. That's just common sense. So there is stuff coming up. We just gotta wait on the timing, guys. You know, like this hay and stuff, that was kind of unexpected. That was last minute. You know, hey, come and get it. We have it. It's yours. And we just hopped in the truck and went. So there wasn't a whole lot of time on planning for all that. We didn't have a set day or time, so some of this content, you know, it just happens spur of the moment. Some of it I can plan for, so I would suggest hitting that like button, subscribe button, stay tuned, because you never know what's going to happen here on Bailey's Homestead. And we'll see you next time.